Hello, everyone, and welcome to Buchanan, Michigan. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs bringing you the action of the Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series, round number 6. The 125s to open our program this afternoon. It's a close points race with Stefan Roncada, 15-point lead, and 20 over Pastrana. Davey Coombs is with the third winningest 125 rider of all times, Steve Lampson.
Until one race ago, the veteran Steve Lampson was the points leader in the race for the 2000 AMA 125 National Championships. But today here at Red Bud, Steve is playing catch-up. Steve, how are you going to get back on top?
I'm going to just go out there and ride a hard race. I lost some points last week Budds Creek, but I've been there before, and I'm going to come back and be riding hard and try to win this thing.
You've also won here at Red Bud before.
Yeah, I believe I won 95, 96, so I got a good track record here, and I'm going to just put it to him today.
Today, though, the track's a little different, kind of sandy now.
Yeah, they brought in a lot of sand, actually, but it made it actually better. It's going to get a little rougher. Not as many ruts, I don't think, but it'll make good racing for sure.
Well, today's the day. We'll see if Steve can get back in control of the 125 championship chase.
Thank you, Davies. We take a look at the Suzuki starting grid with Lampson and Roncada right up there. Both of them banging away for the 125 title. Talon Volan still in the race as well. And never rule out Travis Pastrana. As we take a look at the rest of the field, Nick Way and Ernesto Fonseca, they're trying to get back on track and get good races under their belts. The same goes for Yamaha of Troy's Casey Johnson and FMF Honda's Brock Sellers. You 125 riders have dominated here at Red Bud. In fact, in 20 years, only 6 riders have won over half the races. Jeff Emig, though, is the only 3-time winner.
And Art, these riders will have to contend with a lot more sand than they've ever seen here at Red Bud. They've brought in hundreds of truckloads and changed the entire topsoil of this racetrack. The layout is basically the same as it's been in years past. Now, Davey Coombs has been riding around the racetrack with a helmet camera showing us great shots of the tracking tweak, and now he's starting to make demand.
I want water. I'm not doing any autographs, and no matter what, no dealer appearances, okay? Factory now. Sort of.
Down in the infield section. This is centerpiece to track. Top guys will be tripling that. For me, double's okay. But here you go, carry your speed just perfectly. Up over that double. It'll be a lot rougher later on. That's harder jump. This is always 1 mile through here. You just gotta slow down, pick your line. In case you can slow down and go a little fast. Jimmy Wilson. Whoa! Now, if you've ever been with us before here at Red Bud on TV, you'll know the biggest, most intimidating jump in motocross is right here, affectionately referred to as the Rocco triples. That's what the base looks like. 125, you jump this far. 250s jump over that. I couldn't jump that in a helicopter. Ruddy corner. Double down. Now you got this big back corner. The tabletop's got a double lip on the edge. Oh! Almost lost it there.
I don't know about what you think, Art, but it sounds to me like Davey's breathing a lot harder than he was at the first round. At Glen Helen, he wasn't even breathing hard.
I think we better check out his training habits, don't you think? As the 125 riders get set at the gate. And don't forget, the 125s and 250s run 2 motos each, and then the combined results of those 2 motos go for the overall. Nathan Ramsey right in front of us, Stefan Roncada to the right, and look to the left of Ramsey. That's Steve Lampson. This start very important on this track, and it's Nathan Ramsey with the hole shot. But right there as well, Stefan Roncada, Brandon Jessamine, number 44, and Casey Johnson not far behind. But our leader right here at the beginning is Nathan Ramsey of Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Ramsey already being hounded by Stefan Roncada, number 26. David, it looks like Stefan wants to make a move very early. Cuts to the inside. Ramsey trying to hold on. Bar to bar we go. But look at the outside pass by Stefan Roncada.
Stefan just catching Nathan completely by surprise right there and clipped him on the way by. So it was good balance reflexes right there by Nathan to stay up. If you crash in this opening lap, almost the whole pack passes you.
Brandon Jessamine on the Suzuki now starting to pressure for second place Nathan Ramsey. But our clear-cut leader is Stefan Roncada. Let's go to the pits.
Dan, what another great start for Stefan. I don't know what you guys have got worked out, but the month of July so far, amazing start.
Yeah, I know. He's finally put starts together. That's all he needed to get better finishes, and finally he's doing it. I don't know what he's doing different, but it's working.
How pumped up was he after sweeping both motos at Bud's Creek 2 weeks ago?
And I think that was the best thing he's ever done in his life. He was so happy after that. It was just a perfect race.
It appears that Stefan has just continued in motocross where he left off in supercross as the winningest rider in the 125 supercross ranks, and he became such in motocross in the last round at Bud's Creek with that sweep. Here's Nathan Ramsey, number 24. He's had 3 brutal rides in a row coming into Red Bud, a 12th at Mount Morris, a 13th overall at Southwick, a 22nd at Bud's Creek, David.
And that just seems impossible to imagine him finishing that far back in the pack when you watch him here. He's a little shaky in spots, but he's riding aggressive. He's charging around the racetrack. He's keeping pace with the leaders, no problem.
He needs a breakthrough moto just like this. Roncada, Ramsey, and Jessamine are top 3. We'll be back in a moment.
Meet the inspiration behind the truck. We thought of them when we gave it the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup. We thought of them when we gave it a bigger extended cab than Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram. Maybe that's why Chevy Silverado owners think so highly of the truck. Now ranked most appealing full-sized pickup by J.D. Power and Associates. Silverado, it's the truck from Chevy.
I've heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you, baby. But I don't know about that. It doesn't seem to me like it's enough. It's just not enough. My darling, I can't get enough of your love, babe.
One look at the Yamaha Roadstar, the world's biggest V-twin cruiser, and you won't be able to get enough either.
With a Suzuki RM under you and Team Suzuki behind you, there will be absolutely nobody in front of you. Just ask Suzuki's Greg Albertine, 1999 AMA 250 Motocross National Champion.
Sister Hazel, the band behind the smash hit single, All For You. And now, Sister Hazel delivers their new album, Fortress, featuring the single, Change Your Mind. Fortress, the new album from Sister Hazel, and the new single, Change Your Mind, on Universal Records. To order by credit card, call 1-888-741-7200. Order now and receive a free Sister Hazel sticker with each paid order. Must be 18 years of age or older to order.
The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on 2 wheels. Performance first. And by Suzuki, makers of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. Welcome back to Red Bud Track and Trail. Our leader, Stefan Roncada, in the opening 125 round. Nathan Ramsey still in second place, and Brandon Jessamine on the Suzuki is trying for a breakthrough moto here. He is in third. His best moto of the year was 11th, David.
And that's where he should be more of the time. And it's his first full year pro. He's a better rider than some of the finishes he's gotten. And the difference from amateurs to pro is in the pro ranks, if you get a 20th place start, you can't work your way up like you can in an amateur.
Brandon trying to come back from 2 26th place finishes in the last 2 races. Let's go to the pits.
Greg, I got to tell you, we're not used to seeing Brandon up front early in races. We always see him, unfortunately, laying in the dirt in the first turn, but today he finally got that start he's been waiting for.
Yeah, we've doing some extra testing and whatnot, and we've really got the bike running good now, and he's been practicing a lot of starts and getting a lot more confident with his starts, so that's helped us out a lot.
I know you're not the rider, but why do you think he has so many problems getting through the first turn? It seems like he's always a guy that, he's a magnet for pileups.
Well, there's a heck of a lot of competition in the 125 class, and it's really tough going in the first turn when everybody's speed is all right around the same.
How bad do you think you needed to start confidence-wise?
Really bad.
Well, that tells you right there what the start means to a kid like Brandon, and anybody out there really, but for Brandon to try to get up there and have the opportunity to run with a guy like Ramsey, a former Supercross champion, a guy who's been at the front before. And if you don't get that start and get a chance to see these guys and watch their lines go their pace, very often you tend to get a little bit more nervous. And then when you get in certain situations, you make mistakes and go down, which is what's happened to him this year. And he's always feeling like, boy, if I just wouldn't have made that one mistake, I would have been up there in the top 10. That's how you build confidence.
Along with the added sand and a very minor change in the track this year. David, you won twice here, once on a 500, once on a 250. Has it changed much over the years?
Well, the layout is pretty much the same, but well, I'll tell you what, they've really done an excellent job. Look at how deep it is right there. 2 or 3 berms, plus you got one out there on the outside. It's a lot rougher going into the corners, more places to pass. It was a lot harder packed, a little bit dustier when I raced. You had to be more precise on the throttle. It was like racing in California almost. It was that hard and slick. Now it's loamy and perfect.
Nathan Ramsey doing a good job of holding off the youngster Brandon Jessamine here. So far, he has not made the mistake that Jessamine's looking for.
Nope. I think Brandon right at this point is just trying to stay close. You know, if he has gotten better finishes so far in this season, I think he may be a little bit more aggressive and try to attack Ramsey, but at this point, he's just stoked to be up in the top, taking a look at the leaders here, running their pace, getting comfortable. There's still plenty of time in this race for him to put on a little charge at the end.
Had to be a real bummer for him to anticipate his first professional season, and then before the Supercross season opened up, he gets injured and has to sit out the whole year last year.
Yeah, and that didn't help his training program either, so it's very difficult to come back, even if you sit out some races without an injury. But you have an injury on top of that, it just compounds the problem. It's really tough to get back. But here, he looks strong, gets over that double a little bit cleaner than Ramsey, taps the brake and hit the downside better. And he's staying with his pace, learning all the lines. He'll probably use some of what he's learned right here in these the first half of this race down the stretch to try to get Ramsey to pick up the position.
The battle for second continues as Stefan Roncada is out in front, way out in front, looking for his 3rd consecutive Moto victory.
I think Brandon understands right now that if he can get around Ramsey towards the end, stay close, keep the pressure on, that'll put him in an excellent place to get the overall win. A 3rd, he still may have a chance, but a 2nd, he can win the 2nd Moto, and he's definitely looking good. If something happens to Roncada out front, he have an opportunity to win his first national.
Nathan Ramsey just having an awful year physically in the Supercross season. Of course, a preseason injury put him into a different division. He started racing in that division, and then another injury came about. He was never a factor in Supercross when he was actually the defending champion of the 125 West in Supercross. Here's Casey Johnson moving up to 4th.
He's been slowly gaining on these guys. That's the thing that's happened in the 125. You heard Jessamine's mechanic talk about how tough and how competitive this field is. You don't just gain seconds a lap. You gain a little bit here and a little bit there, and if you make a mistake, it takes about 3 laps to get that time back.
Ramsey going through some gnarly areas here with ease.
You can imagine how rough and deep that's going to be by the 2nd Moto. That's the ski jump. They got a camera mounted under the bridge for the spectators to get back and forth across the track. Now imagine you going off into that blind. I had a dream once that I got the whole shot, and as I went off that jump, the bulldozer was coming up the hill, and I woke up. And then the next day I got the whole shot for real. I was pretty slow off the jump.
Our AMA Chevy Trucks motocross schedule takes us next to Unadilla. Hope you can join us at one of these events.
When do you know where to be before it's the place to be? When does a timepiece become a conversation piece? And when you're out with your friends tonight, what is your husband planning for the family tomorrow? It's all in the Washington Post. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
One price buying only at Templeton Dodge Olds in Tyson's.
Summer's here and the time is right for convertibles. Take the whole family out in a Sebring. Or go cruising with a friend in a Miata from Templeton.
That's right. Pick the Sebring you want starting at $299 a month. Sebring start at $18,888 or choose a sporting Miata all at just $15,888.
One price buying, no one else has
Check out our ad in this weekend's Washington Post. One low price, 1 hour delivery, only at Templeton Dodge Olds in Tysons.
Where can you see the greatest golf performance in history? Where can you see a record-breaking 15-shot victory at this year's U.S. Open? It's only on ESPN Classic. If you missed Tiger Woods at Pebble Beach, this Wednesday, you've got one last chance to see an instant classic. Witness U.S. Open history. Everyone's been talking about it, but there's only one place to see Tiger Woods. The final round of the 2000 U.S. Open. Wednesday at 9, presented by Buick, only on ESPN Classic.
We're back at Red Bud Track and Trail in Buchanan, Michigan for more AMA motocross action. Stefan Roncada is leading our first 125 moto, and he is gone. He is way out in front. Here's the battle for second place with Nathan Ramsey of Pro Circuit Kawasaki and Brandon Jessamine on a Suzuki. Jessamine holding true just like David anticipated, learning as he goes along.
That's up to Larocco's lead. They're not able to go for the full triple on a 125, just the double like Davey explained. We see Johnson starting to inch up a little bit more, just like I was talking about. He's just picking up a little bit of time here and there, but he's going to be close enough to pass maybe both these guys before the checkered flag.
Casey Johnson has had 2 fifth-place overalls, Glen Helen and Southwick. His best moto of the season was a second in the opener, Glen Helen. But he's had a couple of double-digit events since then that have put him out of contention for the points race. There's Brandon Jessamine, number 44.
He has got that corner wired. He just pops up in there, and as soon as his back end gets set, he's back on the power and never lets off.
Good shot of the 3 riders battling for second place now, as we do see number 29 getting into the action.
That's heading up to the ski jump. You're at about 3rd gear, just into 4th. Flying off that jump. This is a little chicane. This is one little change they did put in the track, just to slow down that one section. After the ski jump, they used to be going about 100 miles an hour through the valley and back up the other side, but they put in this little chicane here. There's Pastrana starting to work his way up, right behind Pingree.
If you've been asking where is Travis Pastrana, he's in 9th place right now, but he's on the move, David.
He's just plowing up the track back there, trying to take a little different line. This kid rarely follows. That's why he's able to work his way through the pack so well.
Pastrana, the last 5 motos have put him back in the championship chase. Let's go down to the pits now with Davey Combs.
Not a very good start for Travis. Are you surprised?
Yeah, surprised a little bit. He didn't get a very good start, and he's got his work cut out for him. It's really going to be hard. It's a really fast track, and all the guys up front are going about the same speed other than Roncada. It's really going to be hard.
He told us earlier that he was having a little bit of problems with some of the whoops and some of the bumps out there, especially those fast braking bumps. Did you guys try to make any changes to the motorcycle to reflect that?
Yeah, we made a little bit of suspension and motor setting change, and we're just going to have to go with it and hope for the best.
Red Bud's a tough track to learn, especially for a kid who's never been here before.
Yeah, he hasn't rode it before, and he's pretty good at picking it up, so like I said, he's got a hard job ahead of him, but he'll do the best.
While Lee McCullough was talking, I just couldn't believe the speeds these guys are cutting through this track. It's a difficult track.
And every time we're on Ramsey, just watch him. He's just flying into these corners, right back on the power. Just a little squirrely here and there, and that's because he's pushing it so hard. And when you watch this, it's hard to believe that Roncada is pulling away. Imagine how fast he's going.
Nathan Ramsey, number 24. Brandon Jessamine now starting to apply the pressure. Jessamine has an idea, and he wants to execute it right now. Not quite bar to bar as he go into the corner. Ramsey has the advantage. And right behind these two, Casey Johnson.
I think that's what's changing Jessamine's tactics right now. He's getting in there and starting to rub some plastic with Ramsey and let him know he's there. And I think he realized that by being back from him the way he was, it wasn't putting enough pressure on him. But as you get a little closer, the whole team's starting to feel the heat.
And on the radios there, Mitch Payton, the manager of Pro Circuit Kawasaki. What a great success story he has built for his team. Nathan Ramsey now trying to hold off Jessamine. Can he do it on the ski jump?
These guys are jumping about 80 feet down that hill right there, wide open. As soon as they land, they got braking bumps, and they got to negotiate this double in the middle of a switchback.
This is the battle for second place. Ramsey getting much more power to the ground out of that corner.
He's trying to get away from these guys, let them duke it out on their own. If they do that, they'll start riding. Perhaps, Jessamine will have to protect his line a little bit. That'll allow a little breathing room for Ramsey, but he's got to go hard right here for the next lap and a half or so.
What a great battle in our first 125 Moto from Red Bud Track and Trail. This track has been just immaculately prepared.
Beautiful day, and the way.
Talon Volan. Talon Volan, second on the season in laps led, and still in the points race, is down and out here.
You can tell by the way his visor tweaked over to the side, landed on his head. That's coming down the hill before they go back out to the front towards Larocco's lead, but some braking bumps there as he tried to get into the berms at speed. Probably went over the bars there.
This time last year, see what happened at Unadilla to Volan. About the same time of year, he'll get up from under the bike and get hit again. This put him out and took him completely out of title contention. Let's hope this last crash doesn't do the same. Battle for fifth is on. Steve Lampson trying to hold off Travis Pastrana. Pastrana now has geared it up a notch.
Well, Travis may realize that Roncada is out front gaining valuable points on him. He has got to get around as many riders as he can to try to stay close to the points chase.
Lammy looking back earlier now. Whoa, a little contact, baby. Travis goes down.
Looked like he was trying to fit somewhere that Lampson wasn't going to let him fit. They're both going for the same berm, but Lampson had the inside that time.
Oh, and Travis had trouble restarting his Suzuki. Let's check it out again.
Well, Travis jumps the double a little bit better, gets into the berm, but Lampson's there already. See Lampson look over slightly. He realizes Travis goes down. I don't think he put him down intentionally, but there was definitely some contact, and I don't think Travis should have tried to make that move right there.
Here's a battle between two riders, both coming off their best overalls of the season. Curry, number 38. He had a sixth at Budds Creek. And look out, he's getting pressure right now. Brock Sellards to the outside, and number 18 makes the pass for sixth place.
I kind of feel like Sellards should be up a little farther in the pack after the way he rode in the Supercross season and as strong as he was on the 250.
So Brock Sellards moves up a notch to sixth place, but it's still Stefan Roncada dominating our opening 125 Moto.
Baseball tonight, every night at 10 and midnight on ESPN.
Welcome back to Buchanan, Michigan. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs bringing you the action. Our leader here in the first 125 Moto, number 26, Stefan Roncada, has never been challenged. He took the lead away from Nathan Ramsey early in the race on the first lap and has just continued in great style to dominate.
After sweeping last weekend and leading this moto pretty much from the very beginning, he's got to have the kind of confidence right now that he feels like he should be winning the race. Like there's nobody that can challenge him. It doesn't matter who it is, Travis, any of those guys. He should be able to beat those guys in the end. And when you get that kind of confidence, you're able to attack the racetrack. Nothing really seems to bother you.
Yeah, and if I went down this area right here, I would be bothered no matter what. I mean, one little mistake, and he might not win this race.
He seems to be having fun with this racetrack and those big braking bumps that other riders are not looking forward to each lap around. Doesn't really seem to bother him that much. He's still able to find the lines that he wants, get right into those inside berms, back on the power. Look how fast he went around that right-hand corner. And you have to be precise through there.
Travis Pastrana still tries to make his way up through the pack after going down in his scraping with Lampson. There's 199, Travis Pastrana.
And that was the corner he just went through where he did go down. And in the shot when he was getting restarted, you saw Pingree go by. Pingree's still ahead of him right there. See how deep those ruts are. They're bothering Pingree. Didn't bother Roncada, just like I said. Easy inside pass. And that little mistake by Pingree set that up. That just gave Pastrana a little bit of a wheel on him so that he could make that pass down there without having to make contact.
Still, it must be frustrating for Travis, who's in 8th position. He's led 26 laps in the last 3 events coming to Red Bud. And his confidence level had to be high coming into this race, Dave.
Absolutely, and he knows he can win. But he's had some mistakes here and there through this series that have really cost him, and Roncada has been so much more solid when he hasn't won. And here, it looks like he's going to go 3 in a row. That's going to put his confidence higher than anyone in this class.
So as the white flag is waving for number 26, Yamaha of Troy, Stefan Roncada, for his final turn around the Red Bud track and trail here in the opening moto. I'm rather curious about the condition of Talon Volan, who was in the points race up until now. Let's check in now with Davey Combs.
Brent, can you tell us what happened to Talon?
Well, I presume when he made that sweeper on the right-hander going down the hill, a lot of braking bumps, and he allowed it to come up too high on the rear on him. The front end must have swapped out, hit him in the ribs. He lost his breath, and well, he did fall down, so it's a big point deficit now, you know. And I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to regroup and come back in a big way.
Do you think he's going to be able to ride the second moto? I mean, is the rib injury too much?
I don't think the rib injury is too much, but to be honest with you, he's got no choice. He's going to have to ride. We need the points.
How many times did you have to ride just for points, David?
Actually, I had to do it here in the 500 class one year. I broke my wrist in practice. Didn't know it yet, though, and I tried to ride the first moto. I took 12 Advil. I wouldn't suggest that. And I went out and got 10. Second moto, I rode 1 lap. Was in too much pain. Went to the hospital, got it x-rayed. It was fractured. But I got some points.
Well, Brock Lever wasn't in the greatest of shape then.
No, as a matter of fact, the points I got there forced him to have to ride with a broken wrist. Both of us, it was just the battle of who could ride hurt. And he was able to do it a little bit better that time.
Well, Roncada, who has ridden hurt before, has not been hurt this year. In fact, he's had a banner season, both in Supercross and so far in Motocross. Time to acknowledge the fans on his last trip around the track here at Red Bud Track and Trail. Stefan Roncada on the verge of winning his 5th moto in a total of 11 motos so far this year. And he's got to be in pretty good shape for the second moto coming up.
Well, he's been able to conserve some energy in these final few laps, study the racetrack, figure out what he's going to do for the second moto. He's showing off a little bit of can back there on the big tunnel jump. And I think photographers know now with Roncada that last lap, they better be ready to get good shots because he's going to give them something.
It's impressive to see a rider dominate like Stefan Roncada did last week at Budds Creek, sweeping both motos, but it is really unique, I think, and unusual to see a rider come back again the next week and dominate like he has here in the first moto again. Stefan Roncada is more defining the points race as well, with Steve Lampson back in 5th spot. Pastrana and Volan in non-contending positions right now as he takes his time. Stefan Roncada, the checkered flag for the 5th time this year. His 5th moto win, his 3rd consecutive moto win. And a little ways back now, coming over the finish line, is Nathan Ramsey in 2nd place, holding on to that position. A great ride for him. Casey Johnson moving up to 3rd, and Jessamine in the top 4. Let's go to Davey Coombs, who's with our winner.
Well, Steph, in this 125 points battle was close, but in the last 3 motos, you've really started to stretch it out. Amazing first ride here at Red Bud.
Yeah, you know, I think I felt really good at Budds Creek 2 weeks ago, and my back's working great, and I think my confidence went up, and I had a great start today. You know, I had a 2nd place start. It was awesome for me, and I got in the lead and tried to put the Yamaha, you know, on the top march of the podium, and I pulled the lead, and I was I had a pretty good day after, and I was pretty happy about that.
Well, it looks like your competition, Lamson and Pastrana, went 5th and 7th. And as for Talon Volan at DNF, and that just makes it all the more important to get out there and win motos, and it really helps you.
Yeah, I think the luck is on my side. The last couple of races, Lamby hasn't been doing that great, and Talon just got a DNF. So, and Travis is a very fast rider, so it's good that he finished 5. I can take some lead on him. You want to be careful with him.
Nathan Ramsey's previous best moto was a 3rd at Hangtown, the 2nd round. Bettered that today with a 2nd place. Let's go back to David.
Well, Nathan, I know you've been working all year long to put it together. You've been getting a good starts, but you've just been having problems finishing. Not today in the first moto here at Red Bud.
Yeah, it felt great, you get another whole shot, and this time I sort of stayed up there. Maybe one more position might be better, but my Pro Circuit Kawasaki was ripping. It came off the gate hard, and I tried to stay up there, but Roncada was going really, really fast.
Well, you did a tremendous job of holding off Brandon Jessman for about a half hour, and then the last 2 laps you had Casey Johnson from the Yamaha Troy team right behind you.
Yeah, I felt the pressure the whole time, and just tried to stay focused and just try to work on my lines, and I'm going to go back and try to find a few different lines this time, and maybe I can win this next one.
125s put it in the books. Next, the 250s, and the points battle between Ricky Carmichael and Sebastian Tortelli continues. Stay with us.
The rumble of a big V-twin makes your blood race. You grew up on the pegs of a dirt bike. You could smell a carb running rich from a mile away. Call 1-800-994-3664 to find out how you can become one of the best technicians in the world. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute.
Introducing the first Suzuki ATV, available in your choice of manual or automatic transmission. The Quad Runner 500 and all-new Quad Master 500 with selectable 2- or 4-wheel drive. The choice is yours.
Your TV, Mr. Brand?
I'm watching NBA Summer Hoops on ESPN. Hey, I played last year, and look what happened to me. The NBA Rookie of the Year.
Mr. Brand, I believe it was co-Rookie of the Year.
Whatever.
We're back in Buchanan, Michigan. Red Bud Track and Trail for more motocross action. This time the 250s are getting ready at the gate. There you see Mike LaRocco. He doesn't live too far away there in South Bend, Indiana. Ricky Carmichael, though, in a great points battle. So far this season, it's gone back and forth between Sebastian Tortelli, David Villeman, and Ricky Carmichael. Villeman starting to slip a little bit from the point scene. Carmichael and Tortelli really have a good rivalry going on.
In the beginning, it seemed like Carmichael and Villeman, but it has completely changed to Tortelli and Carmichael, and it's come to a head now with that last lap pass Carmichael put on Sebastian there at Budds Creek. I don't think Sebastian really liked it much, and you're going to see a more aggressive Sebastian today.
Ricky Carmichael, the winningest rider with 3 wins on the season and 4 podiums, but only a 4-point lead over Tortelli, who hasn't won a race this season, but consistently stays in the top 10. Let's go to Davey.
Coming back to Red Bud means coming back to Mike LaRocco country. And right now, the king of Red Bud needs a win more than ever. Mike, how are you going to get back in the winner's circle?
Good question. I think I know what to do, just getting a good start and basically not making any mistakes. The pace has been pretty good this year, and I've had some races where I've been on pace, but whether it's mistakes or bad starts or falling in the first turn, it's pretty much, made me had a bad season. So if I can get through the first turn and ride a good race, I think that today should be a good day for me.
I know you hurt your ankle at the opening round. How are the ligaments there?
Pretty good. Starting with Southwick, I pretty much could come to the race and race. The first three rounds was pretty tough for me, especially the mud one in Mount Morris. So, but we had that week off, and I managed to get enough in it where it feels good. I can ride with no problem now. So, no excuses with that. Just go get a good start, have a good race.
Well, maybe today's the day the king of Red Bud can get right back on top.
Checking out now the starting grid. Albertine, the defending champion of the series. Ricky Carmichael's right there looking for another victory. David Villeman, 4th in the point standings now. Robbie Raynard is behind him in 5th. Sebastian Tortelli, though, he's gunning for a title. They might have named it Laraco's Leap, and it is his home track or closest to his hometown, but he's never won here. The king of Red Bud, Mike Kudrowski, won 250s 3 years running, 92 through 94, and also a 125 race back in 1991. And, of course, the name Jeff Emig comes up if you're talking about this track. He won this race twice in the 250s and had 3 consecutive 125 victories. As we look at the rest of the starting grid for today's first Moto of 250 action. Great weather, good track conditions. The 32nd board is up. The question right now in my mind, can Ricky Carmichael, who swept Bud's Creek, do what Stefan Roncada just did in the 125s after he swept Bud's Creek? We're right with Ricky Carmichael here on the left. Carmichael, good start, but it's David Villeman on the Yamaha gets the hole shot. Villeman's first hole shot of the year. Ricky Carmichael in second place. The red bike team Honda number 14, Kevin Windham fighting for third, gets into third place. Tortelli also a good clean start.
Right there behind Ferry. Look at the way these guys whip the bike sideways as they go off that ski jump. That made me a little nervous if I was sitting around 5th or 6th. A little mistake there. Didn't cost anybody any time, but you don't want to make a mistake when you got all these riders right here gunning in the top 4 or 5 positions, because you can lose all those right away and that could be it. You don't get these guys back once they get around.
Windham in third has been kind of the silent partner in the points race this year. Like Tortelli, he hasn't won an event, but he has not placed outside the top 5. Number 14 in third. But David Villeman, he's looking to get back in this points race.
He's had a little bit of bad luck. Bad moto at Bud's Creek was just a problem with going down to the first corner, but the clutch in Southwick killed him.
That look back to Carmichael. I wonder if he picked that up from RC a couple of weeks ago.
It's head games, a little bit of showing off, a little bit of, hey, what are you doing back there? You know, but we'll see. I mean, you just don't want to do that stuff when you got a fiery little guy like Carmichael behind you that just will do anything he can to win.
The redhead is on the move against David Villeman. Ricky Carmichael putting the pressure on. Villeman, Carmichael, Windham, and Tortelli in great position in our first 250 Moto. We'll be right back.
Meet Martin Licious, Storm Chaser. Some head for the basement. He heads for a Chevy S10. It's got advantages over Ford Ranger, like better fuel economy, a bigger bed, and standard 4-wheel anti-lock brakes on every model. Because if you want to outrun Mother Nature, you need every advantage you can get. Chevy S10, like a rock.
ESPN the magazine. Stuart Scott wants the fleece. Booyah! Stuart, only brand new subscribers get the free fleece.
Everyone wants our warm, roomy fleece pullover. It's free with your paid subscription to ESPN the magazine.
Maybe you want to take out another subscription.
Call now for ESPN the magazine. Get 26 issues, a year's worth for just $1 an issue. And your fleece pullover is free.
1-800-491-1441.
It's Honda's Red Hot Summer. Now the best time to ride is the best time to buy, because from now until the end of July, you can get our lowest payments available on XRs and ATVs, or choose no payments for 3 months, and both offers let you ride off with no down payment. It's easy with your Honda card. And now, gear up with 200 Honda bonus bucks with any XR50, 70, 80, or 100. Honda's Red Hot Summer. It's the sales event of the year.
Call toll-free to get free information by mail about the Craftmatic Model 2 adjustable bed. This wonderful bed adjusts to hundreds of relaxing positions, offers optional warm, soothing heat, and relaxing built-in massage, yet costs up to 56% less than these quality flat beds. Don't pay more to remain flat. Call toll-free and get complete free facts by mail about the adjustable bed that costs up to 56% less. Call toll-free, 1-800-344-8300.
For the second straight week, David Villeman slipped from contention, now finds himself 30 points back. This is an important race for him, and he is in a battle for the lead here in the 250 Moto number 1. Ricky Carmichael looking for opportunity against 934 on the Team Yamaha. Carmichael has the inside. Can he make it stick? Carmichael makes the pass into the lead.
Heading up into that right turn, I didn't really see a mistake from Villeman. It was just that Carmichael went that much faster. So he wants to get into the lead and just disappear from these guys.
Well, Ricky Carmichael getting in the lead quickly like Ron Cotta did in that 125 race. He's trying to pull away right now early, but the pack is staying pretty close.
You'll notice every time Ricky goes up in the air, that's beautiful. The way he went over that little bump, put his leg out for the corner, just got everything made before he even got there. That's how far ahead they have to think at this pace. But Ricky, every time he goes up in the air, he'll reach up, adjust his helmet, take a tearaway, mess with the clutch lever. He's got a lot of nervous fidgeting going on. And here's how he made the pass. Now, Villeman is committed to this outside line where Ricky can come from the outside and cut back to the inside. Now watch. Villeman makes a little mistake coming out of the corner, but I thought he went through here pretty fast. Carmichael had the inside, though, and he just forced Villeman wide and just pinned it right past him into the lead.
So Ricky Carmichael, our leader, 9:34. David Villeman in second place in number 14. Team Honda's Kevin Windham kind of biding his time, but staying close right there in third. Sebastian Tortelli, his teammate, is not that far from him. Tim Ferry is behind Tortelli as we take a look at Villeman.
He's already starting to lose a little bit of time now to Carmichael. Carmichael inching away a little bit. That's got to make Tortelli a little nervous. He's got to stay close. Kevin doesn't even matter. Villeman doesn't even matter to Tortelli. It's Carmichael he wants, and he's got to get past these guys now to have a chance at it.
Tortelli is so good in cutting up through the field.
A little bit harder, though, to get around your teammates because you ride together quite a bit, riding the same bike. Sometimes pick the same lines. That could be tough. And you don't really want to just punt your teammate out of the way like you would somebody else. Getting around Villeman, I don't think he'll be that polite. But you want to be a little bit more careful around your teammates. That could take a little longer for Sebastian.
A little different about going back to a semi-truck where you're living together than the old days when David Bailey went to his van.
Yeah, we could go off and say, well, oh, a little mistake there by Kevin.
And here comes Tortelli in the good position to take advantage of it.
That was so smart. It was a great decision for him to go wide in that berm because he had both Villeman and his teammate taking that inside berm. So there really wasn't anything to gain by him going in there and following. He didn't have anybody pressuring him, so he could take that chance, and it paid off.
Tortelli really stepping it up now.
Track's starting to get a lot more ruts now, so picking lines has become more important than it was in the 125. Now watch the rear wheel of Kevin. Right here, it's trying to follow this inside berm around. He's aiming for the outside berm, or the middle actually. Loses balance just long enough for Tortelli to come around the outside and make a pass. Now he doesn't have to worry about being polite. He's just got to worry about getting around Villeman.
Shane Drew with a fist of encouragement, trying to get Tortelli just to focus on the track. Tortelli is having a fabulous year, and it's to no surprise you saw him perform last year before his injury at Unadilla, as he was in first place in points when that injury took place. Out front, Ricky Carmichael trying to hold on to the points lead here in the first moto with David Villeman in second.
And Ricky looked back there coming out of that corner, and he wasn't looking back at Villeman. He was looking back to see where Tortelli is, I believe.
RC running smooth out in front right now. Let's go to the pit area. Davey Combs is making his way over to Ricky Carmichael's mechanic.
Chad, it looks like another lightning fast start for Ricky. That momentum from that 1-1 at Budds Creek carries over here at Red Bud.
Yeah, he's got a good start, and he's riding a good pace right now. But the main four guys are all first through fourth, so there's no play time in this moto.
I saw Sebastian Tortelli's mechanic, Shane Drew, already wrote pass now on Sebastian's board, and this is only the third lap.
Yeah, I mean, if those two guys in second, third would get caught up to each other, they might lose a little bit of time. But Tortelli's definitely got a good pace going right now.
A great pace going right now because Tortelli is catching Villeman and Ricky Carmichael. Carmichael, our leader, but right there, number 21, Sebastian Tortelli.
I'll tell you what, from talking to Carmichael a few times about particular races, Daytona for one, where he wasn't able to get away from Jeremy when he thought he should be. I think when he got in the lead here, he thought he would just pull away, and he's not. It's got to bother him a little bit.
RC has won 3 of the 5 previous rounds. He's won 6 of the 10 motos so far this year. But all 3 of these riders need this moto victory. Can Ricky Carmichael hold off Villeman and Tortelli? The answer's coming up.
Loudon Motorsports is proud to announce that they now feature Suzuki motorcycles and ATVs.
They have great products. They have wonderful on-off-road bikes. They've got great four-wheelers that are perfect for anything and everything you need to do around the farm or just plain.
Expanding the business, Loudon Motorsports now carries all the Suzuki Cruisers, sport bikes, motocross bikes, dirt bikes, and all-terrain vehicles. You've got to visit the showroom with all the flashy 2000 model Suzukis, including the GSXR 750 sport bike. Visit Loudon Motorsports and Power Equipment in Leesburg on Catoctin Circle.
When do you know where to be before it's the place to be? When does a timepiece become a conversation piece? And when you're out with your friends tonight, what is your husband planning for the family tomorrow? It's all in the Washington Post. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's going to be a good one.
Great outdoor games start July 27th on ESPN and ESPN2.
From the extreme sandy conditions of Southwick to the fast downhills of Glen Helen, conditions change from track to track, keeping the mechanics busy. Our Davey Coombs joins us now with this week's Kawasaki bike setup.
With this week's Kawasaki bike setup, we're joined by 250cc National Championship points leader Ricky Carmichael's mechanic, Chad Watts. Chad, normally Red Bud is a hard pack track, but today it's sandy. How's that change the setup?
Well, we've had to go to an intermediate tire instead of a full-on hard tire like you used to here. They brought in a lot of sand, so we went intermediate front and rear. Gearing, we stayed about the same. Just the motor, we bumped up the compression a little bit because of the heat here and the humidity, had to lean it out. And put a different pipe on to make it rev further.
Well, there you have it. We'll see how Carmichael's bike setup works out when the 250 National gets underway.
Action of the first 250 Moto. Larry Ward in a battle for fifth, trying to hold off the series defending champion Greg Albertine. This year, the veteran World GP champion, as well as last year's champion, has had a lot of practice riding hurt. Unfortunately, he's had all kinds of nagging problems. Oh, look out, Greg! And he just does a belly flop.
Where the flagger was up and over there right away. He's trying to keep the motor running. He's going to switch hands, keep the clutch in. That'll save some time.
Oh, and it gives him a quick getaway after going down.
He's still able to get all the way up, almost all the way up over LaRocco's lead. He's going to lose his time on Larry Ward. You can tell by the way he rode into that corner standing up. He's a little bit tired. And he sees his fishtailing all through those braking bumps. Right here he grabs a handful of throttle. Probably didn't have much of a choice there since he was falling off to the back of the bike. Look at the flagger. Greg has barely gone down, and he's already up there making sure those guys are aware of it.
Battle for second. Dave Villeman. And Tortelli is getting serious right behind him.
He's in his draft. There's some places around the track, just to stay close enough to have an opportunity in another place, you've got to stay right in the line. But here you see different line.
Sebastian Tortelli on the rear tire of David Villeman as they go up the big jump.
Sebastian does have to follow, and he's just about rubbing the knobbies, staying close enough. Really putting the pressure on Villeman. Villeman is worried.
Here comes Tortelli in the second place.
And a little different timing through there. He actually bounces over one of those big bumps. It's been a weird section today for the riders to try to figure out. There's no smooth way. You just got to muscle through there. But Tortelli really bothering Villeman all the way up over the Rocco Leap. That gives you an idea of how far that is, over 100 feet. Uphill, too. That's got to be spectacular for the spectators.
Ricky Carmichael not that far away either. A standoff in the making for the two guys up top in the points.
This is get even time now for Sebastian Tortelli. I have a feeling he's got ideas of a last lap pass, just like Carmichael put on him at Budds Creek last week.
Tortelli definitely on the come. He's gaining on Carmichael. Going by the mechanics area now. Shane Drew, what's on the board? He's 3 seconds back. That's nothing to Tortelli.
Plenty of time to make his move. Here's how he made it past Villeman. Villeman, there's no way he can touch that inside berm from there, but Tortelli can sweep into it. See, from that outside line, he gets underneath him, makes it pass easy.
Nice smooth pass.
Carmichael having to deal with some lapped riders right now. That's going to help Tortelli. Usually when these lapped riders are aware the leaders are coming by, they move over a little bit easier for the next team.
Carmichael down the hill, looks back to see where Tortelli might be. Hits the rut. Absolutely perfect.
Carmichael has been flawless so far, but I just don't know if his pace is fast enough. Look at Tortelli. Forget about that 3 seconds. It's on.
It's down to at least a second right now and closing rapidly. A downed lapper trying to stay out of the way. Ricky Carmichael still has the lead, but Sebastian Tortelli is really moving.
Carmichael has picked it up slightly, which is impossible, it seems like, as he was already going so fast. Now, Ricky is one of those types of riders that rides with so much emotion and heart. He can actually pick it up a little bit and take some chances.
We've seen Ricky Carmichael able to hold off charges like this from Sebastian Tortelli earlier in the season. We've seen a back-and-forth battle between the two. But so far, Carmichael has come out on top in those confrontations.
I think the element of surprise is gone now, though, Art, because that first round at Glen Helen, when Tortelli kept the pressure on and Carmichael didn't crack, he knows that now. He knows he's really got to apply the pressure hard. He knows that Carmichael will come back like last week and run into him if he has to get the win.
Chad Watts looking on anxiously now. There's Tortelli, number 21, getting by a lapper. Oh, this is going to be a great one. Carmichael, though, still in the lead with Villeman in third, Wyndham in fourth, and Morocco rounding out the top 5.
Meet the inspiration behind the truck. We thought of them when we gave it the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup. We thought of them when we gave it a bigger extended cab than Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram. Maybe that's why Chevy Silverado owners think so highly of the truck. Now ranked most appealing full-sized pickup by J.D. Power and Associates. Silverado, it's the truck from Chevy.
We've taken the soul of the 1985 GSXR, the motorcycle that created the race replica category, and placed it into the newest GSXR. Introducing the 2000 GSXR 750 from Suzuki, the soul of a champion, reborn.
My apartment has a TV. I watch RPM tonight for my knowledge. The more I watch, the bigger it gets. Someday, I will share my knowledge with the world. That will be a fun day.
Red Bud Track and Trail. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs bringing you the action of the first 250 Moto of the afternoon. It's a dilly right now with Ricky Carmichael trying to hold off the charge of number 21, Team Honda's Sebastian Tortelli. Tortelli is determined, though, to make a move against Carmichael.
He's able to take different lines everywhere, as you see right there. He's got Carmichael nervous, looking over his shoulder.
They go over the jump. It's Carmichael, then Tortelli. Oh, the fans are going crazy here at Red Bud. To the inside, Tortelli. Acceleration of Carmichael, though, holds him off for one more turn. Here's Tortelli to the outside. Inside, outside, Tortelli takes the lead.
Beautiful pass, clean move on the outside where you would least expect it, right in front of Ricky's mechanic. This will make that kind of rub in a little bit more. He's able to go to the outside right there, too, over the double jump. So now he's got a little breathing room to take the lines he wants. As they come into the corner, I think Ricky thought, Sebastian might try to square under him, so he got on the brakes a little extra. Sebastian guessed right, went to the outside, which would put him on the inside coming into this next corner. That's right back in front of the line of Ricky, so he has no chance to come back.
A terrific guess and a terrific move by Sebastian Tortelli. Now can he hold on to the lead? Remember Bud's Creek when Ricky Carmichael came back on the last lap to repass Sebastian Tortelli for the victory.
I believe right now Sebastian is on a roll. He's going to try to take this next couple of laps and just ruin the spirit of Ricky.
Oh, the battle continues. Let's go down to Davey in the pits.
Shane, turns out he didn't have to get too aggressive. He just went around him. He just motored by him, but now he's got to stay ahead of him. We saw what happened last race, so he's got to get a bigger lead than what he's got right now.
Sebastian knows what he has to do. My question to you, David Bailey, is personally, would you rather be in the lead or be a close second and be able to make a last lap move?
That's a good question between these two. I'm not stalling. It's just that these guys are pretty even, and they both want to win bad. Tortelli's motivated after what happened last week. I know I keep harping on that, but he was irritated. Now, I think I'd rather be in the lead right now, especially the way Tortelli's riding today. They're not quite as even as they've been. Tortelli caught him from behind and seems to be pulling away now.
As we cut back to the battle for 7th place, it's Greg Albertine currently holding down that position, and Tim Ferry of Chaparral Yamaha, he wants it back.
He's going to have to fight for it because Albertine is a fighter. He wants to defend this #1 plate. He never gives up. Remember earlier he went down and had to regroup.
It's time for our Suzuki flashback. After winning the 125 West Coast Supercross Championship in '94 and '95, Damon Huffman left Team Suzuki for Kawasaki. Then, after 4 injury-riddled seasons, he returned to Suzuki to ride for the legendary Roger DeCoster.
It's been good coming back to Suzuki and with Roger still working here. Over the years, I've definitely noticed a big change in the whole team, the bikes, you know, the whole race staff. So it's been a very easy switch, and you know, it's really cool. I think I respect Roger a lot more, being a little older and knowing more about the sport. You know, having Roger work for Suzuki is a great honor.
Although Damon finished 7th in the 2000 Supercross Series and sits 13th in the motocross standings, the 24-year-old Californian feels his best years of racing are still in front of him.
This is my 5th year, going on my 5th year in 250 class, so I feel I'm kind of in between. I'm not a rookie or a freshman or whatever. I'm not quite a veteran, I don't feel. So when those older guys move out, is where I'm going to move in.
In anticipation of your runaway success as a Wall Street Journal reader, how to blend in with normal people. When in public, walking a pet can help you blend in. A tip on being madly successful from the Wall Street Journal, full of insight on making it big. Subscribe to the Journal for just 57 cents a day for 13 weeks, 25% off the regular rate. The Wall Street Journal. Call 800-722-2100. That's 800-722-2100.
Tour de France continues tomorrow at 7:30 on ESPN2.
Welcome back to Buchanan, Michigan. As time is running down, Ricky Carmichael trying to hold on to Sebastian Tortelli, who's currently leading our 251st Moto.
You can see already he's got a long ways to go to see Sebastian Tortelli. Sebastian just came through him like a steamroller, just kept right on going. He got such a great pace. A little bit better lines, I think, as well.
So Sebastian Tortelli definitely making a statement here on the final lap of our first Moto.
Ricky's the kind of guy that'll get mad Between motos, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near the Kawasaki pits because he's going to be upset with himself and motivated for this next moto.
Sebastian has won a moto prior. That was at Southwick. But he has not taken an overall victory so far this year. He had one last year, and that was the opening round at Glen Helen.
You don't see that much celebrating from Sebastian, but he got a little thumbs up right there over the jump. This is an emotional win for him. He wanted it bad.
And the checkers are waving. Sebastian Tortelli taking our first moto in grand style after a great battle with Ricky Carmichael. So it is Tortelli, Carmichael, and Willem in the top three, with Wyndham in fourth, LaRocco rounding out the top five. Let's go down now to Davey Coombs, who's with our winner.
Sebastian, great first moto here at Red Bud. Tell us about the pass on Carmichael for the lead.
You know, I went pretty hard in the corner just before on his outside, and he didn't see it coming, and I just got his head a little bit harder on the first corner, and you know, I went by the outside. I think he was surprised; he was not waiting for me there. So that was a great pass for me. You know, I was a tiny bit faster than him, so I just, you know, did a small hole in a couple laps, and that was enough to win. You know, I didn't do the same mistake as 2 weeks ago. You know, I learned pretty quick, and I learned that one pretty bad, and I'm pissed about it. So hopefully, you know, that won't happen anymore this year or anywhere in my racing career.
Well, you kind of even out the score by holding him off this time. Going in the second moto, how do you feel?
I feel great. You know, the track feels good. I'm happy on that. You know, my bike is working great. I can't ask for better. So it's just great. You know, the team put a great effort, you know, for me, for supporting myself for the outdoor series and even the Supercross series. So that's nice to give them a victory. Hopefully, I can do the same for the second moto and put the Honda in first place.
Good job today.
Thank you.
Just as interesting might be the comments of Ricky Carmichael after being defeated by Sebastian Tortelli. The fact is that RC is still in line for the overall here at Red Bud. Let's go right back to Davey.
Well, Ricky, that moto looked a lot like Bud's Creek. You led for a long time, and then Sebastian got you at the end, but this time he held you off.
Yeah, he did. I don't know what happened. He was riding good, and I thought I was riding the same pace, and I had a little lead on him. Then all of a sudden, I looked back, and excuse me, he was past Vielman and right on my tail. I didn't get any help from the lappers out there, but that's the way it goes. He was riding a strong race, and I need to do something for the next moto.
Did it surprise you when he passed you on the outside going through the mechanics area?
Not really. You know, he held his speed on a lot longer than I did. And, I just need to adapt to that and do what he did.
Can you get him in the second moto?
I'm going to try. I'm going to give it 100%. You know, I've been doing everything at home, and you know, it's up to me to do my work here too, and I'm going to give it 100%.
I know the French helped the Americans win the Revolutionary War, but on this Independence weekend, we've got two Frenchmen that have won the first moto. Number 26, Stefan Roncada, took the 125 opening moto, and Sebastian Tortelli just took the 250s. Can the Americans come back?
When Suzuki introduced the original four-stroke DR 350 and dual sport 350, it rocked motorcycling. Now, it's happening all over again. Introducing the all-new DRZ 400 and DRZ 400S from Suzuki. Four-stroke thunder. On-road or off.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm. Call now and learn how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's databank and apply for a patent. Even if your idea is just to improve an existing product, call for ISC's free information.
For your inventor's information, call 1-800-652-0101.
The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. Stefan Roncada won the first 125 Moto. Talon Volan out of contention with a crash. Let's check on his condition now.
Art between motos, I got back into the Split Flower Pro Circuit Kawasaki pits to find out the condition of Talon Volan. He has some bruised ribs and he banged his head up. This mechanic, Brent Myron, tells me that he is going to go for it anyway. In that first moto, Talon, it was fourth in points, lost 25 points to Stefan Roncada in the 125 points chase. He's going to do his best to make up what he can here in the second moto.
While Stefan Roncada was winning the first moto, Nathan Ramsey got his best placement of the season in second place. He's anxiously awaiting the drop of the gate now for his second moto.
You see Nathan getting rid of the goggles. Those are the ones he used for the warm-up lap. Get a new pair for the moto.
Steve Lamson rolling up to the gate. Just to his right, you see drinking water is Fonseca. Beyond him is Stefan Roncada. Two Yamaha Troy teammates next to the Honda. And then 199, Travis Pastrana rolling up to the gate. And his mechanic, Lee McCullough. That's Roderick Tane right next to Pastrana, the young Frenchman. Brock Sellards, Nathan Ramsey to the inside. But way to the inside is number 23, Pro Circuit Kawasaki's Nick Way.
Getting that hole shot the first moto, Nathan Ramsey. He's to the inside of Roncada. He can get to the first corner first. He controls it.
30-second board is up. When it goes sideways, 5 to 10 seconds, that gate will drop. And we'll get a look right between the Yamaha Troy riders. Roncada to the right, Fonseca to the left. We're off and running. The second moto of the 125's underway. And it's Nathan Ramsey once again with the hole shot. He loves that starting gate position on this track. That's Curry to the outside on the red Honda bike and nips a back wheel of Ramsey. Travis Pastrana moves into second place. He's in a battle now with Ernesto Fonseca. Fonseca with a much better start here in Moto 2. It's Nathan Ramsey holding on to the lead. Travis Pastrana in second place on the Suzuki. And look at there, Ernesto Fonseca cutting in on Travis. Oh, John Mitchell. He wrenches for the leader, Nathan Ramsey, and Mitch Payton. Times are getting tense back in the mechanics area. Ramsey looking strong, number 24.
You get an idea from the emotion of Mitch Payton and John Mitchell as mechanic how much that hole shot means.
Roncada is making a move forward now. Nathan Ramsey coming around the corner. There's Travis Pastrana in second place. And the battle between Yamaha Troy riders for third.
How about Paul Curry up there again? Chance to make his best overall showing of the season.
After coming off his best overall with the 6th at Budds Creek.
Well, Nathan's got the starts wired, that's for sure. He's got a little bit of breathing room now over Pastrana and Roncada.
Roncada getting by Pastrana. And Fonseca now back in fourth.
Roncada's on fire these days. I can't believe he got around Pastrana already. I didn't think that would happen that easy.
There's no question that Roncada is the fastest 125 rider these days, but maybe Pastrana's foot is still bothering him too, despite the week off in between the last round and this one.
Well, the thing people forget a lot of times is that not only is it difficult to ride and race while injured, but what do you do during the week? You know, he's not able to do his normal routine, be in his greatest shape, and practice and have those sharp skills. What I'm noticing is little mistakes here and there by Pastrana, where Roncada is just hitting everything exactly the way he wants. You've got to ride a lot to be able to ride that sharp.
Another thing to consider in the overall scheme of things, too, Roncada is in second place, and Lamson, who's battling him for the points lead, is back in 6th.
Yeah, that's a big boost for Roncada. If he can just stay ahead of Pastrana this moto just by one position, he'll still put more points on him this moto, a lot on him from the first moto, and extend his lead even more.
So Roncada is in the catbird seat as far as the points, championship points going right now as they pass the mechanics area. Nathan Ramsey's looking for the overall victory here. So with Nathan Ramsey leading and Roncada in second, battle is anticipated Let's turn to our Suzuki trivia question. Who was the last 125 Suzuki rider to win the overall here at Red Bud? The answer and the action coming up next.
When do you know where to be before it's the place to be? When does a timepiece become a conversation piece? And when you're out with your friends tonight, what is your husband planning for the family tomorrow? It's all in the Washington Post. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
One price buying only at Templeton Dodge Olds in Tysons.
Summer's here and the time is right for convertibles. Take the whole family out in a Sebring or go cruising with a friend in a Miata from Templeton.
That's right. Pick the Sebring you want starting at $299 a month. Sebring start at $18,888 or choose a sporting Miata, all at just $15,888.
One price buying, no one else has it.
Check out our ad in this weekend's Washington Post. One low price, 1 hour delivery only at Templeton Dodge Olds in Tysons.
Tomorrow, they're both vying for division titles, but first they'll have to battle each other. NL batting leader Todd Helton and the Rockies look to outslug Jason Giambi and the A's. And big bat Sammy Sosa looks to light up the scoreboard, but Jermaine Guy and the Royals hope to shut him down at KC. The ultimate road trip rolls on. A's Rockies at 8 on ESPN. Cubs Royals at 8 on ESPN2. Tomorrow.
Second moto of the 125s from Buchanan, Michigan. And our Suzuki trivia question, who was the last Suzuki rider in the 125s to win the overall? Guy Cooper in 1990. He also won it 2 years before that as a two-time winner here in the 125s. Mitch Payton, the head of Pro Circuit Kawasaki, with his fingers crossed for Nathan Ramsey to hold on. As number 26, Stefan Roncada right now putting the real heat on Ramsey. They almost touched tires in that last turn.
Well, Roncada is so confident right now, and he also knows that the kind of intimidation he must have over Nathan, and the closer he can be to him, the more nervous he'll make. Look at Roncada, just makes a completely new line out there in the grass. He pretty much can go wherever he wants to go on the motorcycle. He's so much under control and relaxed out there, so confident. He's probably toying with Nathan right now, which is hard to believe because when you watch Nathan, he's moving.
It's good to see him moving this fast and in the lead after such a miserable start on the season with injuries.
He was riding into cast the same as Pastrana earlier this season, trying to ride Supercross. A tough fight back, but he's led both motos here.
Stefan Roncada has been the story of the season so far, along with the excitement generated by the first-year pro Travis Pastrana in the 125s. But it's been Roncada's consistently fast performances that have exhilarated the crowd as far as competition is concerned.
His great season and all the attention to Travis Pastrana has really overshadowed Nathan Ramsey and the great season he had last year. He's just trying to fight his way back into it. Here at Red Bud, he's found his speed.
Ramsey holding off Stefan Roncada a little longer this moto. He's keeping the pace up, and the two are really a long way away from the rest of the pack now.
It's surprising me that they both pulled away this far from Travis Pastrana. Travis can usually hang on to whatever the pace is, regardless of how many chances he has to take. But look at the difference in these guys. Ramsey is totally clean, and look at how dirty Roncada is. You can't even read his front number plates. And he's just getting showered. The longer he stays behind him, the more risk he's going to run of not having any tearaways left for the rest of the moto.
And a big factor as far as his team is concerned, they're thinking points. He came into this race 15 points ahead in first place, and he's ready to cop a lot more and secure that #1 position.
Well, as long as he stays ahead of Lamson and Pastrana on this moto, he'll extend that points lead a little bit more. But imagine how great it would be if he could get around Ramsey and have Ramsey finish between himself and those guys. It would give him 3 more points.
Even when he was out of first place, he was only 3 points back of the leader. Roncada now serious about making his move. A little stutter right there by Ramsey was just what the doctor ordered for Stefan Roncada. Good, clean pass.
He gambled a little bit on that one. He set him up in the corner before, squared it, went to the outside, which would not be the fastest line, but you're right, Art. If it hadn't been for the little mistake by Ramsey, here it is. He goes to the outside. Ramsey gets kind of stuck between two berms right there. Roncada goes right around him. That was beautiful.
Roncada in a good, safe place at the right time, David.
And just lays it over and rides around those next couple of berms with such great balance and pulls away.
Stefan Roncada looking for his 4th consecutive Moto win.
Well, he started to dominate to the point where if he can hold on to this Moto, he'll be able to line up next week.
And here goes Pastrana getting around Nathan Ramsey. Travis Pastrana moves into 2nd place. Can he possibly challenge Roncada in this Moto?
Absolutely. You never know. Travis caught Nathan so quick. He came out. We didn't see him in our last shot. He's already up in there, pulling away. He won't be happy until he catches Roncada and makes a race of this. There's Roncada just in the corner ahead of him.
Pastrana here in his first season in pro action, getting a victory at Southwick. Bike, question mark. That's Nathan Ramsey's mechanic.
Well, he may be feeling like as far off the pace as Nathan dropped all of a sudden. Maybe he's questioning whether there's something wrong with the bike. Maybe he'll want to pull in and tell him, and they could rectify that problem. Still pretty early in the race. That wouldn't make me feel too good if they were wondering what's wrong with the bike.
Roncada, Pastrana, and Ramsey are top 3. More 125 action coming your way.
He's upside down. This one has to go like that.
Some children imagine that their father is the most powerful man in the world. Wonder where they got that idea.
Dad!
The 300 horsepower Silverado. The truck from Chevrolet.
In anticipation of your runaway success as a Wall Street Journal reader, how to blend in with normal people. When in public, walking a pet can help you blend in. A tip on being madly successful from the Wall Street Journal, full of insight on making it big. Subscribe to the Journal for just 57 cents a day for 13 weeks, 25% off the regular rate. The Wall Street Journal. Call 800-722-2100. That's 800-722-2100.
Attenback.
It's MLS. They've taken over the network.
Get me the control room now.
This is Jones.
What are you doing
In my control room. We've got your anchors. We want Saturdays and our own show. We're the #1 sport in the world. We deserve to be seen.
I don't think I'm gonna make you guys. I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right, who else has to go?
MLS Extra Time, Mondays at 11 on ESPN2.
Welcome back to Buchanan, Michigan for more motocross action. This is the second 125 moto of the afternoon. Stefan Roncada, the winner in the first one. He is also leading this one. But Nathan Ramsey's got his problems right now. Nathan Ramsey is moving backwards, and he has not done that double. That might give us an indication there could be something wrong with the bike as Ernesto Fonseca makes the pass. Let's go down to Davey now and find out if he suggests a problem.
Guys, that time around, Nathan Ramsey's mechanic, John Mitchell, wrote on the board, bike with a question mark. I watched Nathan's reaction when he came down toward us. He shook his head, yes. Can't tell what's wrong, but something's definitely up with the second place finisher's bike here in the second moto.
Boy, Davey, the hard luck kid of the year 2000 as far as our sport is concerned in the 125s, Nathan Ramsey. Our Suzuki stopwatch will take it from second place and move it back. Here's Curry. And behind Curry in fifth is Lampson, 8.27 seconds between second and fifth. They don't have a stopwatch with enough seconds on it to count Roncada's lead.
He has checked out and made this a race for second. And from second all the way back past Lampson, those guys all have a shot. It's pretty close between all the rest of the guys, and plenty of time left in the moto for anybody to make a big move.
It's a big race for Curry.
He's got some heavy hitters back there. Lampson.
Here comes Lammy on the inside. Curry looks back at him. So a true privateer trying to hold off a two-time champion As they go into the corner, Curry hops into the line of Steve Lampson. Curry doing a good job so far. Lammy, though, trying to pick up the slack to take over fifth. He cuts to the inside. Steve Lampson, will he hold on to it? Oh, good move by Curry. Back and forth we go for fifth. Curry to the outside. Lammy, number 6. He's the only 125 rider with a single-digit number. Let's see if he can catch up after the jump. Oh, Curry is really putting on the speed.
He has answered every move by Lampson. When Lampson came underneath him, I thought he had the pass made. If he'd have slowed down in the line, he could have done it, but Curry guessed right, cut back underneath him. Probably surprised Steve a little bit. He figured that making this pass would be a little easier than it's turned out.
Curry, the first motocross that he and his father went to, he won or placed very high in the first moto, thought that was it, went home. Missed the second moto. He knows better right now because he's doing a great job in this second moto.
Pushing hard coming into that corner back there, hit a braking bump, rode the front wheel for about 20 feet, saved it, recuperated, and still holding these guys back. That's Schnell that Lampson was actually a little worried about. Schnell was putting enough pressure on Steve. He had Steve looking back.
And Steve can't afford to lose any more points to Stefan Roncada and stay competitive throughout this season. Curry not only racing well, but rather appropriate for this Independence Day weekend. The stars and stripes he's got on.
Oh, he looks cool, but I guarantee you Steve Lampson is tired of looking at him. He cannot be worried about the championship if he's trying to find his way around Paul Curry for a number of laps. He's got to pick up the pace and start charging to the front.
And that's Nathan Ramsey right in front of Curry. Curry with a shot at moving up another notch.
He should be able to do it. They caught Nathan, and Nathan is having some kind of a problem. I'm not sure if he's gotten used to that and he's able to adjust his pace, but I don't think so. These guys putting a lot of pressure on.
Whoa, Curry to the inside. Oh, nice move by Paul Curry.
That was a little bit risky, too. He didn't have a whole lot of room to be able to squeak by into that berm. He just got it done, and now he's got a little buffer back there to Lampson and Schnell.
These are not happy folks at Pro Circuit Kawasaki, wondering what's wrong with Nathan Ramsey's bike.
Oh, Mitch Payton and that crew, they work hard. They don't like to see little mistakes like this. Get to the inside. Curry just muscles his way around. Then he's going to come to the inside. He's got to lean in there and try to make sure he doesn't clip the front end of Nathan and still gets into that berm. His front wheel could have drifted over that easily.
Oh, the track really rutting up here in the second moto of the 125s. The 250s coming up next. There's Steve Lampson. And Lampson just hasn't been able to get around Curry. Roncada is our leader. Our next telecast comes to you from New Berlin, New York, the famed Unadilla track. Hope you can join us then.
Introducing the first Suzuki ATV, available in your choice of manual or automatic transmission. The Quad Runner 500 and all-new Quad Master 500 with selectable 2- or 4-wheel drive. The choice is yours.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm. Call now and learn how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's databank and apply for a patent. Even if your idea is just to improve an existing product, call for ISC's free information.
For your inventor's information, call 1-800-652-0101.
Your TV, Mr. Brand?
I'm watching NBA Summer Hoops on ESPN. Hey, I played last year, and look what happened to me. The NBA Rookie of the Year.
Mr. Brand, I believe it was co-Rookie of the Year.
Whatever.
Welcome back to action in our final 125 moto of the afternoon from Buchanan, Michigan. Paul Curry trying to hold off Steve Lampson. Lammy's been trying this whole race to get around Curry. Here comes Lammy on the inside. Oh, what a gutsy move by Steve Lampson.
And what set that up was a little mistake by Curry. Just a tiny mistake is all it takes for Lampson. Lampson had to be close enough, though, to take advantage of that. He's been just getting impatient back there. He started applying a lot more pressure, and it paid off.
Well, Curry just trying to hold on to that spot right now as he's in a pack of riders currently in 5th.
Well, I believe he's going to have his hands full with Greg Schnell. Schnell's the kind of guy, it looked to me like Schnell was keeping pace with Lamson. And if that's the case, he should be able to move around Curry.
Here's Travis Pastrana. Almost a lonely ride in 2nd place for Travis right now, David.
Yeah, this is no fun. He's getting over the double. Look at that. Beautiful. Over it clean, into the next berm. But, you know, he would like to be catching Roncada right now. He'll take a second, but he's losing points, and he knows that.
Roncada, of course, just checked out on us early. And this could be 4 in a row for number 26. 4 Moto wins in a row.
That gives you the kind of confidence that you have when you go to a local race and you're looking at everybody on the line going, I got this. I mean, that's the way he's going to feel in this class. He gets the white flag right there.
5 podiums in 6 races this year. Stefan Roncada, you know, Frenchman has never won the 125 Outdoor Nationals. Jean-Michel Bayle didn't, although he was on his way one year, right, David?
He was close, and now Curry's got Jessamine breathing down his neck. So Jessamine got around Schnell, really putting on the pressure.
Oh, Jessamine cuts to the inside. Oh, Brandon had a good first moto, and he's on his way to recovering for a good second moto.
I don't know how the heck Curry is able to stay up. That's twice in that same exact place in that corner. Lamson, and then Jessamine clipped his front wheel, and it didn't bother him.
As I was saying, Jean-Michel Bayle did not win a 125 National Outdoor title, and neither did Mikel Pichon. But this young man is certainly got his sights set and is well on his way as he's looking forward to his 3rd victory in 6 races. Paul Curry is looking forward just to holding off number 63, the Privateer Yamaha of Greg Schnell.
And Sellard's back there. I don't think he's really got a shot at Curry. But if these guys get together, he needs to be close enough to take advantage.
Here comes Snell. Curry tries to shut the door, but Snell gets by him. Nice move by Greg in the block pass.
And you just hate getting past on the last lap.
A fired up Stefan Roncada has got to have the whole Yamaha crew, Yamaha of Troy as well as Team Yamaha, fired up about his chances now for a championship as he takes the checkered flag for the 2nd time this afternoon. So Roncada, Travis Pastrana, Ernesto Fonseca 1, 2, and 3. Good ride for Ernesto here today, the 2nd moto. Steve Lapson in 4th, and Brandon Jessamine recovering for a 5th. Brandon, his best afternoon in motocross. Davey.
Well, Stephen, you've put together quite a nice little moto winning streak. That's 4 in a row, and you've totally blown the 125 points chase wide open.
Yeah, no, it feels great to be in the lead with a lot of points. I've been feeling really confident lately. My Yamaha of Troy is working awesome. And, you know, Travis was really tough in the 2nd moto. You know, I had to charge a lot harder. And it's a good thing I got a good start.
Well, what about, I talked to your mechanic, Dan Worley, during the race. He said you guys had a little side bet going.
Yeah, with Mark Peters. The bet was like if I was winning the next 2 races, both motos, it'd take me to Magic Mountain in a limo.
Well, it's not Disneyland, but it's close.
I'm not going to Disneyland, but Magic Mountain is pretty fun also. So we're going to have fun. I won the bet.
Before, his best moto, Red Bud, was a 4th in 99. As we take a look at the overall, Roncada sweeps. Pastrana moves up to 2nd. Steve Lamson takes a 3rd position on that podium with Brandon Jessamine in 4th. Let's go back to Davey.
Well, Travis, in the first moto, it looked like you were still struggling a little bit in the track, but in the 2nd moto, it looked like you were doing just fine.
This track is so much fun. The jumps are awesome, but I just couldn't get it going for some reason in the beginning. It was the first time I really struggled throughout practice, but you know, come the 2nd moto, got out to a better start and was able to not run with Roncada, but I was able to see him for a little bit of the race. So, you know, he's definitely going to be the one that's everyone's going to try to hunt down, but I feel really good. Suzuki's working great.
Hey, by the way, congratulations on being selected for Team USA for the 2000 Motocross Destinations.
I can't believe it. It's a dream come true to go to the Motocross Nations. I'm going to try my best like I always do, but, you know, it's such an honor for me.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
Stefan Roncada taking the momentum in the points race, leading by 31 over Steve Lamson. The battle right now is for 2nd place. As we look forward to the 250s, can Sebastian Tortelli, along with Stefan Roncada, celebrate Bastille Day early on our Independence weekend? We'll find out in a moment.
It's Honda's Red Hot Summer.
Now the best time to ride is the best time to buy, because from now until the end of July, you can get our lowest payments available on XRs and ATVs, or choose no payments for 3 months, and both offers let you ride off with no down payment. It's easy with your Honda card. And now, gear up with 200 Honda bonus bucks with any XR50, 70, 80, or 100. Honda's Red Hot Summer. It's the sales event of the year.
In anticipation of your runaway success as a Wall Street Journal reader, how to blend in with normal people. When in public, walking a pet can help you blend in. A tip on being madly successful from the Wall Street Journal, full of insight on making it big. Subscribe to the Journal for just 57 cents a day for 13 weeks, 25% off the regular rate. The Wall Street Journal. Call 800-722-2100. That's 800-722-2100.
Meet Carlos Sandoval, veteran Navy SEAL, trained to go through anything, equipped to survive it. Introducing the Chevy S10 Survival Pack. CD, automatic, air, aluminum wheels. Over $1,300 in savings and $1,250 cash back.
You might think all that comfort could weaken a Navy SEAL.
Fat chance. Chevy S10, like a rock.
Call toll-free to get free information by mail about the Craftmatic Model 2 adjustable bed. This wonderful bed adjusts to hundreds of relaxing positions, offers optional warm, soothing heat, and relaxing built-in massage, yet costs up to 56% less than these quality flat beds. Don't pay more to remain flat. Call toll-free and get complete free facts by mail about the adjustable bed that costs up to 56% less.
Call toll-free, 1-800-344-8300.
With the Team Honda duel of Sebastian Tortelli and Kevin Windham currently sitting second and third in the point standings, team manager Cliff White likes how the 2000 season is shaping up for his squad.
Well, so far I'm pretty happy with it. Last year we won most of the events and lost the championship, so I'm hoping that this is a different approach. Just by circumstance, maybe it'll work out for us in the end.
Tortelli and Windham both have different styles on the track, but White knows both are capable of capturing the #1 plate.
Sebastian's strengths are, I think, the goal that he sets for himself. He's a very strong-willed individual and works very hard at trying to accomplish that. Sheer talent, Kevin is probably a little bit stronger. Has certain tracks that he excels in.
And with both excelling this season, the team manager hopes one of them will give the factory their first 250 motocross title since Jeremy McGrath won in 1995.
Whichever one of those finally succeeds, I'm going to be elated to it.
Right now, Ricky Carmichael is going to try to take that smile off Cliff White's face here at Red Bud Track and Trail as we get set for the second moto of the 250s. Sebastian Tortelli right there is directly to Ricky's right. Boy, that'll be an interesting battle coming out of the gate.
It will, and if they get to the first corner side by side, Ricky will have the advantage. So Sebastian's got to be pretty confident about his ability to get out over that gate. He's been getting pretty good starts lately.
The mechanics topping off the gas.
Do that just because they go out and do the warm-up lap, just to make sure, especially in the sand. These guys use a little bit more gas out there, getting all that wheel spin. So they just top it off right there, and guys go for new goggles, fresh drink of water, and get reset.
Mike Gosler, I was going to say, tending to Kevin Windham. There's Mike Larocco, number 5. Milliman, 934. Albertine. Dowd. Ferry. Down the line we go. Getting ready for the 250's second moto. Sebastian Tortelli winning the first moto. Ricky Carmichael was in second place. Can Ricky come back and take another overall? Or will Tortelli win his very first overall and thus take over the points lead away from Ricky Carmichael? They're off and running. David Milliman on the inside gets his second hole shot of the day, but can he hold on? He could not in the first moto. Right away, he gets a big challenge from Kevin Windham. Windham, number 14, in second place. Tortelli in third.
It looked like Carmichael got the edge on Tortelli over the gate, but Tortelli beat him to the corner.
David Milliman goes to the outside, and there's Kevin Windham. Windham looking for a good finish after a fourth place in the first moto.
Wyndham still clearing the double out of that corner from the inside. Villeman going all the way wide to get a run at it. And look how deep that rut has gotten. These guys are having to run up on the sides of the wall there to keep from dragging the foot pegs. The track has deteriorated so much because of all the extra soil, which is actually a good thing. You want the track to get rough and develop a lot of lines. That's what they have here in the second moto.
And your good riders want it that way. It separates the men from the boys.
Absolutely. Villeman loves the track with a lot of different lines where he can get creative. Travis Pastrana on the 125, Ron Cotto, those guys love a track where you have a lot of options.
There's Wyndham going by in second, Tortelli, and then Larry Ward.
Carmichael dropped back in the pack a little bit. Not the kind of start he would like to open the second moto with.
So our leader, number 934, David Villeman, continues now to pull a slight lead on Kevin Wyndham. Shane King in the four-stroke in fifth. Ricky Carmichael in seventh. We'll be right back.
When do you know where to be before it's the place to be? When does a timepiece become a conversation piece? And when you're out with your friends tonight, what is your husband planning for the family tomorrow? It's all in the Washington Post. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
Of Sports Center traditions. The annual slumber party seems to draw the most people.
Hi-ho, the merry-o, the farmer in the dell.
Rich is by far the cutest.
Isaac? Why don't you marry him then?
Hello? Is your refrigerator running?
What?
You should chase it.
It's dark. It's crowded. It can get really out of hand.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Welcome back to Red Bud Track and Trail. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Combs bringing you the action of our second moto of the 250s. Sebastian Tortelli winning the first round. David Villeman, a fellow Frenchman, leading the second moto, but Kevin Wyndham now starting to put some heat on.
Villeman has changed his lines here and there. It seemed like that's what his problem was in the first moto. He made a lot of mistakes, kind of things you just don't see him make. Choosing bad lines, which is normally his strength. He's improved a little bit here in the second moto, but Wyndham is all over him.
Wyndham in great position to make a move on David Villeman now. Will he be aggressive enough? He sets him up, goes to the outside, cuts to the inside. Wyndham. Oh, that was a snappy move.
He's made a line. There was not really, that's not a line they take every lap. Wyndham just saw an opportunity, took it, landed clear on the edge of the racetrack. Villeman's fighting him for it, but Wyndham's got the better line.
That's the most aggressive move I've seen Wyndham make in quite a while.
Well, at times he recognizes the moment right there. He grabbed it and the lead with it.
Sebastian Tortelli in third. Wyndham with the lead. Villeman goes wide to try to get it back again, but he's settling into second place right now.
Well, as Villeman goes wide, Kevin goes to the inside and still makes that double. So if he can do it from the inside, it's a faster line.
Wyndham coming off his third podium of the year after the third place finish at Budds Creek. He has no wins, but he's never been out of the top five. Let's go down to the pit area now with Davey Combs.
Shane, a little different situation in this moto for Sebastian. Another good start, but instead of Carmichael in danger of getting away from you guys, now it's your teammate Wyndham.
Yeah, I hope Sebastian doesn't get a little too relaxed because of that, you know. Hopefully, the last lap he closed up the gap quite a bit, so I think he's just feeling it out a little bit, but I let him know where Ricky was last time by in the signal area, so I think he'll start making his moves real soon.
A couple of other teammates battling it out right now is Rick Carmichael in back of Larry Ward, number 10. Ward having a very, very rugged season. And, of course, Carmichael was battling for the lead. As far as the points, the championship points. And a nice, easy pass made for Ricky Carmichael.
Well, it looks easy, trust me, but I've been around that corner a million times, and it's so hard to hold it tight like that and keep the speed he had. I don't think Larry Ward really let him do that. I'm sure he's not upset knowing that Ricky's going for the title, but Larry's going around that corner pretty hot. Ricky just went around there that much better.
A battle of Frenchmen. Number 21, Sebastian Tortelli going to the outside. He won second place. David Villeman's got second place right now.
Tortelli not following, trying anything else. There's a little mistake by Villeman on that inside. He's got it. The whole idea is to keep the pressure on the guy and keep him guessing. Try to make him race your race. As soon as he does that, you're in the driver's seat.
Sebastian Tortelli gets the good, clean, easy move to the inside. Tortelli once again making his way toward the lead.
Villeman went into that corner a little hot, got caught out wide, tried to get on the gas and cut it back tight, but he got on so early he kind of got a little too much. Grabbed a handful and started to high side a little bit, lost his balance. But check this out, as he comes off this jump, there's a lot of ruts coming up. Watch Villeman right there, does a little wheelie through all that stuff. You see Tortelli has to kind of use his balance and weave through it. Villeman meant to cut back to the inside. You see he got high side and had to let off. That's all Tortelli needed.
Well, sortie going on between three riders now for 9th place. Shane King on the 4-stroke KTM. Huffman, number 20, and on the outside here, number 17, Robbie Raynard. There's King, 110. He's the second top privateer in the series right now, second to Kyle Lewis. On the inside, there goes Robbie Raynard. And oh, Huffman just skids out.
That's that deep rut I was talking about. Your front wheel just wants to climb those walls, and if you don't have great balance, you're going down just like that. So it's just a simple straightaway can reach up and grab you like that. And at the same time, he's having problems. His teammate Raynard passed them both.
And here's Tortelli. Tortelli is really on the move right now. His teammate Kevin Windham has the lead. Tortelli would love to have a sweep. There's Windham, number 14. He won this race at Red Bud last year in dominating fashion, getting both hole shots, ending up a 1-2, becoming one of many riders really to win in both divisions here at Red Bud. Mike Kudrowski, Jeff Emig, Jeff Ward, besides Windham, have won 125 races and 250 races here at Red Bud. Shane Drew puts the board out for Sebastian Tortelli. Mike Gosselaar puts it out for Windham. We've got a battle for the lead underway. We'll be back with more 250 action from Red Bud in a moment.
I've heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you, baby. But I don't know about that. It doesn't seem to me like it's enough. It's just not enough. My darling, I can't get enough of your love, babe.
One look at the Yamaha Roadstar, the world's biggest V-twin cruiser, and you won't be able to get enough either.
In anticipation of your runaway success as a Wall Street Journal reader, how to blend in with normal people. When in public, walking a pet can help you blend in. A tip on being madly successful from the Wall Street Journal, full of insight on making it big. Subscribe to the Journal for just 57 cents a day for 13 weeks, 25% off the regular rate. The Wall Street Journal. Call 800-722-2100. That's 800-722-2100.
Brett Ho, Oscar De La Hoya, Tiger Woods.
It's 3Play at ESPN.com. You log on, you register, and every day you get 3 new athletes. Then whoever gets the best stats wins some serious scotto.
Ken Griffey Jr., Alonso Jr., a fella in the 9th named Jr.
3Play at ESPN.com. It's free, it's sports. Give me the briefcase. It's money.
We're back in Buchanan, Michigan. 250 second moto. Ricky Carmichael right now trying to fight back after a slower than usual start. Our leader is Kevin Windham. Let's go to the pit area now. Davey Combs.
Chad, Ricky finally got around Villeman. Now how's he going to get a hook into those 2 front Hondas?
You don't have to get it in gear, first of all. He's got to knock off about a second a lap, and
guys, they have slowed down about a second and a half a lap. Ricky's about a second lap faster right now, but need a little bit more of an edge to catch him.
Would you rather have Wyndham leading right now or Tortelli?
Wyndham right now. Yeah, for sure. That's 3 less points to worry about.
Chad cuts right to the chase, David.
I like that. I think Ricky likes that. They need it. They both really like to win. They both are intense. And I think you can get that impression there when he first asked him, hey, what does Ricky need to do? Well, first of all, he needs to get his tail in gear.
Interesting now weeding through some of the lappers. There's Wyndham taking the long jump, and Tortelli's looking for opportunity right now. Tortelli cutting to the inside, has to get around the lapper.
That was a good move, maybe a little risky by Wyndham to jump that LaRocco's leap between those lappers. He had to guess what that guy was going to do. Good thing he stayed in his line because they could have come together at the end, but he put somebody between himself and Tortelli and gained a little breathing room for now.
It shows he's concerned about Tortelli, no question about that.
No, it doesn't look like he's trying to let him by and do any kind of team stuff to help him and Tortelli in the points chase. Right now, it's every man for himself.
Well, Kevin Wyndham needs a win on the season.
And they're telling him +7 on Carmichael. That gives you an idea. There goes Chad out to signal Ricky. Get up there. I think Ricky can see in the mannerisms and in the body English of Chad out there what he needs to do. That'll motivate him as well.
At risk here is the points lead. Sebastian Tortelli not that far away from Ricky Carmichael in the point standings. Let's go to Davey now, who's with Mike Gossler, who's wrenching for Kevin Wyndham.
Mike, the pressure from Sebastian was pretty intense there for a while, but it looks like Kevin is pretty much settled down and maybe pulling away a little bit.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, it looks like Sebastian's trying real hard, maybe making a couple little mistakes trying to get around him, and Kevin seems to be flowing, and we're past the halfway point, so that's a good sign.
Now that Carmichael's up in the third, and Shane Drew told us that he let Sebastian know that. Do you expect a charge from Tortelli?
Yeah, I do. You can't count him out all the way up to the last corner.
If they just stay in this order, David Bailey, Sebastian Tortelli would win the overall. And we've got 2 Frenchmen winning on the afternoon along with Stefan Roncada. That's never happened before in national outdoor history.
I'm impressed right now with Wyndham because I know how much pressure and how fast Tortelli has gone, and Wyndham has answered and picked up his pace. Now Tortelli has to wonder, okay, well, what do I have to do to step it up even more, because Wyndham has raised the bar. Riding smooth through it all, too. You don't see Wyndham pick up the pace that often. Without getting a little squirrely here and there, making a mistake and opening the door. So far, he's solid.
For Tortelli, first place means maybe a very valuable 3 points. And in this kind of points race that's gone back and forth between Ricky Carmichael and Sebastian Tortelli, boy, 3 points could be real big at the end of the season.
Yeah, and the way I got it figured, he needs to pass Kevin right here to pick up the points lead. So you got a lot of motivation out front. Wyndham wants to win this moto bad. You can see he is fighting for it. Tortelli is fighting for it. He wants to sweep the day and put more points on Carmichael. Ricky's back there riding for his life, trying to get in this battle and save some points. Feel sorry for fourth.
Well, you feel sorry for Villeman or LaRocco?
Those guys don't have a prayer with all this motivation out front.
That's true. Sebastian Tortelli still in second, though, goes wide. Can he get around Kevin Wyndham on the outside? Yes, he does. What a move by Tortelli.
Same thing he did to Carmichael.
Like a magician pulling it out of the hat. Sebastian Tortelli is our leader.
I think he set that all up in the corner before the same way he did with Ricky. He knew it worked. He was just close enough, and Kevin wasn't close enough to see that happen in the first moto. Didn't really know about it.
Now Tortelli will try to put some room between himself and Kevin Wyndham. And with Kevin Wyndham in between Ricky Carmichael and Tortelli, it's a better point situation once again for Sebastian.
I watch him come in here on the outside. I don't think they looked at the signal board that time. They were too focused on all of this. Kevin tries to retaliate back to the inside. Can't do it. Watch Sebastian throw it into this berm. Bam! Hits that thing, moves it a foot. He is on the move. All he's got to do now is just keep it up on 2 wheels, ride smart, get decent lines through the lappers down the stretch, and he should be able to hold on. And like you said, Art, at pick up another 3 points with Kevin in there in second place if he can stay there.
Boy, has this race maybe drawn the battle lines for one of the great points confrontations in 250 history.
Well, now this is the third time the points lead has shifted back and forth between Ricky and Sebastian. It's definitely on between those two with Villeman sliding back in the points, and if they keep beating Kevin, even though he's riding well, it's not well enough.
This race by Sebastian Tortelli is really drawing the battle lines for a great points championship run the entire season now. Neither one willing to give in, Ricky Carmichael or Sebastian Tortelli. As Larocco approaches his own leap in fourth position, the fact remains that Sebastian Tortelli, should he win here today, well, with his win last year and a win this year, he'd become the first Frenchman to win in back-to-back seasons a national. Not even the Great Vale did that. We'll be right back.
Meet the inspiration behind the truck. We thought of them when we gave it the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup. We thought of them when we gave it a bigger extended cab than Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram. Maybe that's why Chevy Silverado owners think so highly of the truck. Now ranked most appealing full-sized pickup by J.D. Power and Associates. Silverado, it's the truck from Chevy.
Hi. Friday's great. Email. It's kind of slow.
Styling, performance, value. Isn't technology great? The Suzuki Katana.
A great tradition continues on ESPN2. Friday Night Fights. This week's main event, Teddy Reed battles Golden Johnson for the NABF Super Lightweight title. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 9 on ESPN2.
The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on two wheels. Performance first. And by Suzuki, makers of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. Welcome back to the action of the 250's second moto here at Red Bud. Number 21, Sebastian Tortelli, in case you're just tuning in, won the first 250 moto. His French countryman Stefan Roncada won both 125 motos. What is this on Independence Day weekend for the American public?
This is a lesson in dedication and technique and desire. These guys want it so bad.
Absolutely correct. There's no harder worker around anywhere than Sebastian Tortelli.
And we used to question the work ethic of Roncada, but I think he's proven us all that he works hard, does his homework, shows up ready. There's no way he could win the way he has this year, indoors and out, unless he's working hard.
Tortelli now with a comfortable lead, as you see here. Kevin Windham in second place. It's been a good day for Kevin, too, but it's been a spectacular day for Sebastian Tortelli.
Sebastian is going to give Kevin a big hug for holding off Carmichael if he can. That'll be 5 points he picks up on Carmichael in this moto if Kevin stays where he is.
This would be the points lead as well for Tortelli. He was number 1 in points going to Unadilla last year. The next race is Unadilla.
Well, we'll see a big smile on Cliff White's face. He needs to have this happen. Honda has worked so hard to try to get back up on top, win a championship, and keep having to follow McGrath around indoors. And they have a chance here outdoors, and then Carmichael and Villeman caught fire early in the season, but now it's starting to look like things are going their way.
This would be the first time in Red Bud history that a non-U.S. citizen has won a 250 race here. All kinds of records on this Independence weekend.
Now this is the Tortelli. He always looks about the same when he's riding, but to the real trained eye, the people who watch Sebastian all the time, he has been so aggressive today. And you heard that first moto interview. I don't want to repeat his words, but he was obviously angry with what happened in Budds Creek. And he wanted to come out here and set the record straight. beat Ricky Carmichael, and he's done.
Well, you don't take Stefan Everts and win a championship against him without that kind of attitude, and that's exactly what number 21 has done in the past.
And that was a real shock to me, knowing how fantastic a rider Stefan Everts is, but now having a chance to see Sebastian for 2 seasons and really develop as a Supercross rider, now I understand how he won that battle.
The checkered flag for Sebastian Tortelli, and for the first time in National Outdoor American AMA racing history, 2 Frenchmen have taken the 125s and 250s on the same day. Sebastian Tortelli, our winner. Kevin Windham holding on to second. Ricky Carmichael won't be pleased with third here this afternoon. Davey Coombs now is with Kevin Windham. A fine ride today for Kevin.
For Kevin, in the first part of that second moto, it looked like you were on your flow and you're in the rhythm. Got 3 laps to go. Tortelli made an unbelievable pass on you around the outside.
Yeah, he came on strong, and you know, it actually kind of flustered me a little bit, and I've been in that situation before, and it was a nice day and a good track, and I just wish I could have held him off. But we still got a lot of time, and you know, made a couple points back on Ricky, and should be a good series.
Next race is Unadilla. How do you feel going into that round?
I like Unadilla, and but I like here and I like Buzz Creek, and I just need to go back in this off week, and I think prepare myself a little more mentally. You know, I've been running a lot, been running a real lot, and been riding a lot. I think it's time just to work on the mental preparation.
For Sebastian Tortelli, his first win of the year, his second career 250 outdoor. It'll give him the points lead. Ricky Carmichael and Kevin Windham on the podium, but the man of the hour is Tortelli.
Well, Sebastian, I got to tell you, I can't remember ever seeing someone go through a corner as fast as you went around Windham with 3 laps to go in that second moto.
Yeah, you know, that was a great spot for passing. You know, I did Ricky on the first moto, and I set up Kevin a little bit for that corner, that lap, and that paid off. You know, I came hard in the corner, and I went to the outside. It was good, except the rain now.
Well, you got the points lead. You know what? You made a little bit of history today. You and Stefan Roncada, for the first time ever, 2 Frenchmen won American Nationals on the same day. That's never happened before.
Yeah, that's great. You know, we are 3 good French riders, and now we are going our best, so that's great. You know, I think there is not much rider coming after us, but we are here. You know, that's a younger generation, and hope we're going to stick around for a long time. I would like to thank Honda for the great help they gave us, and all my team who support me great today. You know, Cliff, my team manager, and Shendrew, my mechanic. Everybody did a good job, and I want to thank them all.
Your first win of the year gets you the points lead. You got 2 weeks off now. The second half of the season starts. Carmichael's right behind you.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to work hard and, you know, keep doing the same thing. That pay off. You know, today I'm back on my speed, and that was my goal. So I have the lead. That's great.
Fantastic job, Jay.
Thank you.
A tremendous performance by Sebastian Tortelli. Ricky Carmichael came into Red Bud with this 4-point lead over Sebastian. But after the sweep by Tortelli, it's Tortelli leaving Red Bud with a 4-point advantage. An awesome day for Tortelli.
This fight between Tortelli and Carmichael has become so heated, I don't think anyone's going to penetrate that battle from here to the end.
Kind of takes a lot of us back to the battle between Jeff Stanton and Jean-Michel Bayle during those years.
I think you're going to see the similar rivalry all the way to the end of the season. And in the 125s, after Hangtown, the second round, I think a lot of people, myself included, thought Lamson was on his way to winning this championship, but Roncada has stolen that momentum.
Stefan taking both motos today. In fact, he swept the event for the second consecutive round. It sets the scene for a great meeting in Unadilla, New Berlin, New York, in our next round. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs, thanking you for joining us from Red Bud Track and Trail. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network. Go.